Hello everyone, welcome to Sunday Anime Chat. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. You can call me Pop for short. And today, as it says in the title, Pop's Choice, I'm going to be introducing you to a couple of underappreciated animes. These are ones that aren't being talked about by a lot of people, and I think maybe they should. Or give them a check out just to see if they like them. And I'd like to welcome Comrade Woopa Troopa, leader of Whoopstotska, and his secretary, Jake D. Good morning to you two. It's great to see you. And anyone else who's lurking and tuning in, I welcome you on the YouTube, Twitch, and now streaming on Rumble. So there you go, Rumble fans. You now have a Sunday morning anime show to watch. I've consumed typical American breakfast of cheesesteak and coffee, many calories and fat obtained. Oh, that sounds like an awesome breakfast. But I don't think I could move after that. You have to be the American the Canadians expect. And we'll just have my double spiced chai tea as we do what we always do this time, is go over the news of the week. What's happening in the anime world. And with that, let us begin. Only one thing for today, it looks like. Loop 8, Summer of God's Game 6-minute gameplay video streamed. Never heard of it. Maybe it'll surprise us. Maybe something will happen. Yes, Woopa Troopa, let us begin with the cabbage. Going back to Saturday, High Dive Oshi no Ko anime has biggest series launch in streaming services history. On Friday night on Blaine's Escape Corner, we were chatting about this, and he had nothing but good things to say about Oshi no Ko. So that might be one that I will have to have a look at here. It hasn't been on my list so far. And towards the end of the stream, I'll go over what I'm watching right now. And see what you guys think. You never heard of that game? Yeah, neither have I. Mega Man Jake D, still waiting for the copy to arrive? Alright. And a good morning to you, DJ Ronnie G. Nice to see you. Moving along here. Arknights, Parish and Frost Seasons teaser confirms returning staff, cast, updated. New Horimiya piece, anime unveils first concept promo video. Japan's video game rankings. Here we go, everybody. This is one of the ones I like to go over and see what is popular in the land of the rising sun. Number 1, Switch, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy. Number 2, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, followed by Pokemon Scarlet Violet, then Mario Kart 8. There's a PS4 one here, but it's Mega Man Battle Network. After that is Minecraft, then the Resident Evil 4 remake. Followed up by Splatoon 3, Nintendo Switch Sports, Dokapon Kingdom Connect. A PS5 game, Atomic Heart, and then the Resident Evil 4 remake on the PS5. Then it's back to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Party Superstars, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 Special Price, Ring Fit Adventure, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection Volume 2 digital version. Breath of the Wild is on there. People are really getting hyped up for Tears of the Kingdom. I know I am. After that is Animal Crossing, and then once again, Mega Man Battle Network Collection Volume 1 digital version. So once again, the Nintendo Switch dominates the Japanese game ranking. That is awesome. I like that. Need more Mega Man love? Yeah, they do. Also known as Rockman in Japan. Atomic Heart in Japan. Yes, Woopa. These numbers seem somewhat low. How many people live in Kaiju Land? Wasn't it, and just off the top of my head, isn't it like 130 million live in Japan? Around that number? You were playing Master Mode Breath of the Wild right before this. Master Mode. Woof. Man, I just hate those Lionels. These guys are so freaking tough. Yes, to the internet and step on it. The TV rankings in the one area of Japan. Saze-san's number 1, followed by Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Swordsmith Village Arc, Detective Conan, Chibi Maruko-chan, Doraemon, then Mix Season 2, Soaring Sky, Pretty Cure. One Piece is on there, as it should be. Crayon Shin-chan, and Pokemon Horizons The Series Premiere Special. Alright, that's what's going on for the TV rankings. Going back to Friday, Crunchyroll adds Saint Seiya anime with remastered English dub. 2021 population was 125 million. Not metric. Yes. Okay, so that's how many people are there. What else we got? I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World anime reveals English dubcast. Deadmount Death Play anime reveals English dubcast premiere. Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister manga gets TV anime. Dokapon Kingdom Connect Switch game streams overview video. Okay. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 game streams trailer for future redeemed DLC. I have Xenoblade Chronicles, but I have not played a lot of it. I bought it for the Wii, if you can believe it. We're in our Japanadian agent in the field. Yeah, where is our Japanadian agent? Oh, that reminds me. Angry Canadian. I saw a tweet of his. He's actually in the hospital. So please send your best wishes and good thoughts for Angry Canadian. I don't know. We don't know what's wrong at right now, but suffice to say, he's in the hospital, and please send him the best wishes for a speedy recovery. He's a good guy, and it sucks that he had to be going into the hospital. So we hope the best for you, Angry Canadian, and hope that you get well soon. We want to see you back in action. You're a good guy. Yeah, me too, Angry DJ Ronnie J. I like Angry Canadian too. He's a good guy. Yeah, I just saw it myself a couple minutes ago on Twitter when I was putting up advertising for the stream. So yeah. Yeah, Comrade Irate Canadian, yeah. Slightly peeved Canadian. So yeah. Going along here. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses anime second promo video reveals previews, opening theme. Ongaku, our sound Kenji Iwasawa directs Hina is Beautiful anime film. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition game releases for Xbox on April 26th. I think I picked up Blaze Blue for the PS3 not too long ago. Both of them, first and second game. The Quintessential Quintuplets Go to Pazu Story game delayed to June 29th. Okay. Street Fighter 6 game debuts demo reveals Season 1 DLC characters. This is getting a little bit out of hand, I think, with DLC. I mean, you pay for stuff that should already be included. 5 waifus for 1 anime? Yes. And it's a game now. Game was originally slated to release on May 25th for PS4 or Switch, it says. But it's delayed for some reason. I'm not sure why. Studio Trigger animates trailer for Omega Strikers game. The first slam dunk anime film earns $13 million on opening day in China. Okay. I've heard, and we've read articles on here already that Slam Dunk is doing very well. Yeah, and I'm hoping so, Whoopa. I'm hoping he'll be okay. It irks you that Fire Emblem Engage had DLC lined up released? Yes. The only thing I can say to that is don't buy it. If they want to charge you for DLC, just don't buy it, and that will teach them. DLC does get out of hand. It should be actual extra content, not planned at launch. Yes, exactly. The Masterful Cat is depressed again. Today, anime reveals promo video. July 7th, debut. 11 more cast members. Going back to Thursday. Psycho Pass, Providence 10th Anniversary Films trailer previews theme song. A Galaxy Next Door TV anime reveals English dubcast premiere. EC3 Decapo 3 games console version launches on August the 24th. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Battle Chronicle smartphone game launches in 80 countries. Oh, a smartphone game. Stay away from those guys. Stay away from those smartphone games. They can shut them off at any time, and then you're left with nothing. The one thing that should have been DLC was Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, and that was sold as $30 separate game. Wow. Camilla is DLC character, but it has waifus. That's a compelling argument, Jake D. Crunchyroll reveals English dubcast for The Legendary Hero is Dead, Dr. Stone New World, The Ancient Magus Bride Season 2 anime. Going back to Wednesday, North American anime manga releases. Crunchyroll adds That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Scarlet Bond, the Quintessential Quintuplets movie, Gundam, Kyukuru's Done's Island anime films. The Centennial Case, a Shijima story game, gets iOS Android versions. Okay. They know your weakness. It's a lot of our weakness is waifus. Not gonna lie. Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection gets gameplay trailer. Magical Girl, Magical Destroyers anime casts Koiki Uchiyama, Nobuyuki Hiyama. You only play your mindless idle games on phone. If they turn them off, you will not care. Yeah, there you go. You just don't pay for anything. I just don't pay for anything. Also some sports apps, passes the time, but those aren't online dependent. Yeah, that's what you want. You don't want ones that are online dependent. Kamikatsu Konosuba, An Explosion on This Wonderful World anime reveal English dubcast premieres. Tokyo Mew Mew new anime second season cast Hisao Mochizuki as Pudding's mother. Zun announces Toho Project's 19th game. Jacques Jean game launches in English on June 15th. Jacques Jean, eh? Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy Anime Season 2 cast Taisuke Nakano Hinato Tadokoro. Shura anime cast Romy Park Soichi Hoshi. An Explosion on This Wonderful World sounds awesome. Yeah? Yeah, it does. When you roll me for iOS and Android, it'll be ad supported. Yeah. Leave it up to Jake D. Said Pudding's mother. I thought you said Putin's mother. I was like, man, this is a weird anime. No. Pudding, not Putin. Pudding. Which is funny because there's a pudding in One Piece. If those of you that are keeping up with One Piece. It's an entire arc, the Whole Cake Island arc. Capcom, Niantic unveil Monster Hunter Now AR game for September launch. This sounds like Pokemon. Players can hunt monsters scattered in real-life locations. Yes, it is. It's just Pokemon, except with Monster Hunter. Game developers Capcom and Niantic announced Monster Hunter Now, a new augmented reality smartphone game in Capcom's Monster Hunter game series. The game is billed as one where players can hunt monsters in the real world. It is slated for worldwide launch in September for iOS Android devices after a closed beta test which starts on April 25th by invitation only. Similar to Niantic's other AR games, players will be able to use their smartphones and camera to hunt monsters scattered in real-life environment. New to the game is the paintball, which allows players to mark monsters for later hunting, solo or with friends if they are unable to do so at the moment. The player's palico can also be set to automatically paintball passing monsters even if the player is not currently playing the game, so that players can hunt them at their leisure later. Yeah, so that's going to be it's going to be all that Pokemon all over again. College Humor made a show called Adventures of Kim Jong-un, and Putin was a guest. You know Pudding, bark bark, ooga, before the eye. Now Shanji's sister, Reiju. Yeah, Reiju, eh? Nice. You're not much of an AR game fan, you must admit, and that's okay. I mean, I'm not either, so I guess it's gotta be appealing to you. Niantic, the Pokemon Company International, launched Pokemon Go app in selected countries, including the United States, in July 2016. Niantic also developed Pikmin Bloom, an AR app based on Nintendo's Pikmin franchise, which debuted in 2021. Geez, I don't even remember hearing about the Pikmin game. Niantic's Ingress AR app inspired an anime adaptation that premiered in October 2018. Netflix began streaming the anime worldwide in April 2019. Sentai Filmworks licensed the anime and released it on Blu-ray disc on March 29th. Niantic was most recently developing the Transformers heavy metal AR mobile game, but canceled the game in July 2022. I wonder why they canceled it. Monster Hunter Rise, the latest game in Capcom's Monster Hunter franchise, launched on Switch in March of 2021 and then launched on PC via Steam in January 2022. Capcom released the game on the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Windows, and Xbox Game Pass on January 20th. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion for the game debuted for Switch and PC via Steam in June 2022 and will launch on PS5, PS4, Xbox XS, Windows, Xbox Game Pass on April the 28th. That is the end of this week. So there you go. If you are a Monster Hunter fan, you can catch them. Gotta catch them all? Maybe? Or are they going to get sued for that? Gotta catch some. Gotta hunt them all, I guess. The first Slam Dunk anime film producer wins Fujimoto Award. Detective Conan Kuragane no Submarine film opens at number 1. Going back to Monday. We're getting there. We're already at Monday. AR Waifu Sim. That's a good idea. Yeah. Nothing wrong with a Waifu Sim. Okay. Back to Monday. Suzume Films' Chinese box office earnings tops its Japanese box office. Okay. It earned 14.6 billion yen in China. Wow. Slam Dunk Show looks like something you would watch. Yeah. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it came out in the 90s. And it was also in Anime America, which was one of the books that was put out by Viz Communications. And it just featured a lot of the shows that were out at the time, and they also had a section for manga, and I believe Slam Dunk was in there. Suzume anime film earns $5 million at the U.S. box office in opening weekend. Sounds like that film is just killing it in the box office. Nintendo confirms employment of Russia CEO who set up shell company to continue game sales in Russia. Otaku elf anime cast Teru Ikuda and Rei Kugamiya. Did Japan embargo Russia or something? Let's have a look at this. You guys are interested? Let's have a look. Nintendo confirmed with Eurogamer on Thursday that it is still employing its Russian CEO Yasha Hadaji. Nintendo had earlier made a statement to the news outlet that it has provided its employees in Moscow with individual compensation packages and ended their contracts by mutual agreement. Russian news outlet Kommersant reported on April 12th that a shell company established by Hadaji named Achivka recently sold shipments of Metroid Prime Remastered in the Russian market. Eurogamer has reported on Wednesday that Hadashi had set up a secondary company in the country in order to import and sell Nintendo games in light of the official Russian sales ban on Super Mario Maker. Nintendo stated it is not affiliated with Achivka and has no involvement in parallel import activities in Russia. Nintendo had further elaborated in the statement that it will maintain minimal presence in Russia and that it only plans to fulfill legal, contractual, and administrative requirements with its presence in the country. The company added Mr. Hadij remains in a temporary administrative capacity to fulfill various internal administrative functions while winding down the company. So it's just the one guy they're keeping employed. Nintendo suspended its online eShop retail service in Russia on May 2022. The company explained that it put the eShop in Russia temporarily in maintenance mode since the payment service it uses has suspended the processing of rubles. Nintendo did not reveal a date for the service's return. Russia launched a full-scale invasion of the Ukraine. Yes, we're aware of that. After weeks of tense military buildup along the borders, Belarus, Russia claimed to be supporting the independence and breakaway regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. The war has recently taken a turn for the worse as Russia has intensified shelling of cities and Ukrainian civilians struggle to either flee the country or prepare for conflict amid rising casualties. Countries on the world have decreed the invasion and expressed support for Ukraine. Economic sanctions have fallen on Russia and Belarus in light of the invasion, while active artists and creative studios have halted releases of some works in Russia. Nintendo launched Metroid Prime Remastered, a remastered Switch version of the 2002 Metroid Prime GameCube game digitally on February 9th, the same day as the game's announcement. Physical copies shipped in the West on February 22nd and in Japan on March 3rd. And don't forget, America is sending billions of dollars to support the Ukraine. So there's that as well. You think Japan just ended their embargo? They started buying gas from them again. Cutting off trade from the world's major oil suppliers probably won't go well. You guys know that Canada's a big oil supplier as well, eh? It's just that it's not clean. It's an oil sand mixture, so they have to take the sand out of it first. But we have quite a few billion barrels available in our oil sands area. So if the U.S. doesn't want to deal with anyone else, it could deal with us. But, what do I know? I'm just a guy that, talks to his microphone on the internet. But yeah, Collar, Malice, Anime Films reveal teaser video, new key visual. You did not know this, Jake D? No, it's okay. Sand in the oil. Yeah, well, it's mixed together. It's called bitumen, and they take it and up in the oil where the oil sands area is in Canada, which is on the border of Saskatchewan and Alberta. They take it and they clean it and take all the sand out of it. They process it, and you're ended up with just the oil that's left over, and we send it on to upgraders and refineries. It takes more processing. It's not because it's because of the stuff in like Saudi Arabia and such is just it's right close to the surface, and it doesn't take a lot of processing. So that's their advantage that they have. They could just put a pipe in the ground and pull the stuff up. Whereas here we got to do a little more processing to get it where it needs to be to use it. Bitch amen? Yes. Oh, DJ Ronnie G, you scamp. Just messing around, yeah. The US could also just deal with no one and produce it themselves, but no, that's bad for the earth, so we'll just buy it from people. So we are both bad for the environment and poor. Well, yeah, and they must have like a deal going with Saudi Arabia or whatever, because, you know, it's, they commit the most, what do you call it? Not hate crimes, but they have a terrible human rights record, and the U.S. is more than happy to deal with them. Whereas, you know, I didn't think Canada had that bad of a human rights record, and you don't have to worry about, you know, dealing with dictators and stuff like that in the traditional sense. And Trudeau is a dictator, but he's not like a traditional one. So, anyway, getting off topic here. This is an anime stream, not Pop's rants. This is Pop's choice. I think we have just a little bit to go here for finishing up our news of the week. Petrodollar system, yeah. I don't need to get into that though. I have studied up a bit on the petrodollar. Banished from the Heroes Party anime second season reveals title, teaser visual. Detective Conan Kurogane no Submarine film earns best 3-day opening for anime franchise. Uma Musume Pretty Derby Road to the Top anime streams on YouTube with English subtitles. Well, look at that. You can watch it on YouTube, of all places. And I believe this is the horse racing girls? Whenever my wife and I watch Japanese commercials on YouTube, we always see the commercials for Pretty Derby. The official YouTube channel for the Uma Musume Pretty Derby franchise started streaming the first episode of the Uma Musume Pretty Derby Road to the Top net anime titled Yume no Hajimari, or A Dream's Starting Gate, on Sunday. The anime is streaming with Japanese with English subtitles, Chinese, and Korean. The franchise's YouTube channel also started streaming the non-credit version of the anime's theme song titled Glorious Moment. Kana Nakamura, voice of Narita Top Road, Hitomi Sasaki, and Sora Tokui are performing the theme song. The net anime is separate from the third television anime season, which premiered this year. They have a third season already? Wow. The net anime depicts TM Opera, O Admire, Vega, Narita Top Road, and other Uma Musume horse girls going head-to-head to win classic competitions. Does that mean they're going to go to the Kentucky Derby? I wonder. That one's going on the research list? Okay, Jake D. The first 13 episode Uma Musume Pretty Derby television anime season premiered in April 2018. Crunchyroll streamed the series as it aired in Japan. A B&W no Chika anime came bundled with the Uma Musume Pretty Derby television anime's fourth Blu-ray disc volume in December 2018. The second season of the main Pretty Derby television anime premiered in January of 2021. The Uma Musume Pretty Derby franchise's spin-off manga series, Umayon, also inspired its own television anime that premiered in July 2020. This is just crazy. This thing is just keep going. It just keeps going. I mean, people must like this a lot. Special anime commemorating the first anniversary of the game debuted in February 2022. A new short anime series titled Umayuru debuted on October 16th. Pretty Derby game launched in February 2021 for iOS and Android. It was originally slated for a release in winter and was delayed in order to raise the game's quality. The game released on PC via DMM Games in March. The game's concept begins with horse girls endowed with excellent running capability and who aim to be top idols and compete in the national sports entertainment show Twinkle series. Players take the role of both teacher and trainer for the girls in the Nihon Uma Musume Training Center Gakuen and help them make their debut. Cygames is also publishing several other spin-off manga for the franchise on Saikomi. including Uma Musume Pretty Derby, Haru Urara Gambaru, and Starting Gate. Well, there you go. You want to watch your horse girls racing, there's where you go. You go to YouTube, and you can watch it. And apparently you can play the game as well. Sega's 404 game Reset smartphone game reveals April 25th release date. And what do we always say? Don't do the smartphone games. At least that's what I always say. That and safety save. When you're playing a game, you always have to have a safety save. And we're back to Sunday. And there we go. That concludes News of the Week, everyone. Seen some pretty interesting things today. Moving along. Now, some of the underappreciated anime. First up on the list, it's going to be Powerpuff Girls Z. This anime came out back in 2006. And all they did was take the show done by Craig McCracken. Everyone knows Powerpuff Girls, or at least have been exposed to it, or at least heard of them. You should have at least heard of them, I would think. They took it and they adapted it, made it their own. They put out 52 episodes of it, so 2 seasons. And it's I like it. It's good. It's fun. It's silly. It's wholesome. And hello, Punkwaddle. Good to see you. McCracken, eh? Yeah, Craig McCracken. Not related to Phil McCracken. At least I don't think so. They could be. And this is a thing. Yes, it is. It is a thing. And we will go through an episode of it just so you can see what it looks like. Because, you know, pictures don't do it justice. But first of all, let's do this. Like this. Go like this. Okay. From Powerpuff Girls, right? The North American one. Fuzzy Lumpkin. The Gangrene Gang. Mojo Jojo. And the Powerpuff Girls. Exactly how they looked for the North American version. Okay. Next up. There we go. Fuzzy Lumpkins. That's what his Japanese version looks like. The Gangrene Gang. Mojo Jojo. And that's what our girls look like. And Professor Utonium has a son named Ken, and they have a little dog. And the name escapes me right now, but it can talk, and it actually helps summon the Powerpuff Girls. So that is pretty funny. Lovecraftian squid thing. Oh yes, Jake D. Ms. Bellum is in this one as well. All right, let's get to it. Turn this off. And put that one on. There we go. So, as you can see, that's how it starts out. They have their opening theme song. There's the mayor at the back there with the professor. And there's a picture of all the villains. And they do have all the villains that were in the North American. And they have magical girl transformations, of course. Which is what, of course they do. So they have their title at the beginning, Monster Tag Battle. And this episode, I grabbed it because years ago I managed to find them and save them. And so I put it on some of my, I put them on CDs. So back in the day when there was CD burners. And these guys, the Gangrene Gang, they're singing the blues. They are very sad because they were beaten by the Powerpuff Girls. So they're at a roadside eatery, and they're just trying to drown their sorrows. You can see he's got a little bit of red face going on there. I think he's drinking a bit. And there's Fuzzy Lumpkins. He wonders what's going on. He can hear their noise, so he's going to go pay a visit. And apparently he took too much wasabi on his food there, and it's going to burn him's face. And Mojo Jojo shows up. He heard all the... So they all meet there, and they're all commiserating over the Powerpuff Girls. And then, yeah, they're all down. They're very sad. They always get beaten, and they go over their stories. Mojo Jojo goes over his story about how he was beaten by them, and the girls were so bored they were reading magazines and beating him at the same time. So he's very outraged. And he's blasting off again. Then the Gangrene Gang, they go over their experience with them. And the girls are having lunch, and they beat them during their lunch break. And they blast off as well. The good old days? Yes. Oh, DVD-Rs last longer than CD-Rs, just in case you have anything you wish to preserve. Oh, okay. Thanks for the heads up, DJ Ronnie G. Yeah, I do. I have. Back in the day, I would save stuff in VCD format, if anyone's familiar with that. And because I didn't have a DVD burner, those things were really expensive. Or blank DVDs to burn them on. Yeah, I could only fit like 3 episodes per disc. It was it's pretty crazy. I went through a lot of discs, so I have a lot of stuff like that. So, you laughing at VCDs? It's what I had at the time, all right? And when I was on my Pentium 3, trying to render video and all that, to get it into that format, took a long time. You'd set it up and leave it and go watch some television or something. You had no idea this was a thing? Yeah. They sold those in Chinatown too? Okay. Your DVD burner was $266. Whew. And your first CD burner was like 50. Yeah, the kids do have a day with good today with video encoding. I had to find like a program called TMPEG and try to encode it into MP2 so that we could get it on there and it would be recognized by players and such. It was just, what a hassle. Yeah, going through all that stuff. Now Fuzzy Lumpkin starts his story. And he talks about how he gets defeated. They're in the morning. So Bubbles just waking up and Buttercup was brushing her teeth. And Blossom was having breakfast. So he gets beat. And everyone is depressed. And they're sad because they keep losing. Everyone's so So sad. They all drink together. And then it's weird because bad guys usually don't offer to treat, but these guys are like, no, I'll treat. No, it's my treat. No, it's my treat. And they decide to go Dutch. So everybody pays their own and they leave, but then they freak out because they just assume that if they didn't pay, the Powerpuff Girls would come and beat them up. So, but you know, Mojo's a genius. So he comes up with the idea of them joining forces. Now this is pretty crazy, but they decide to go along with it to join forces to take on the Powerpuff Girls. And there's Professor Utonium and his son Ken and their little dog. And something's going on. I think it's Mojo, and he's attacking, and he's like, you gotta go, Powerpuff Girls. And they are not having any of it. They're like, no, we're... Haru, who is Buttercup, is watching a match. Momoko is reading her manga, and Miyaka is reading a textbook, I think. She's studying. But yeah, they're like, no, we're not gonna, we don't need to rush. And his son Ken is getting angry because they're not taking it serious enough. And these two are arguing, and they tell her not to butt in. And they're just flabbergasted. They're just like, they can't believe it. And he has to resort to telling him that the mayor won't give you any treats that you like if you don't go. No snacks, sports channel, or fashion shows. And they're like, fine. They do a half-assed transformation. And they're like, yeah, here we go. So they are ready to fight Mojo, but they're like, why'd you run into me? You gotta be careful. And they're now there's infighting going on. So it's like, whatever, I can do it by myself. But apparently, when Mojo combines, they can't do it by themselves. And each girl gets taken out. First Blossom, then Buttercup, and finally Bubbles. They get taken out and beaten. And they get put on a rocket and they get blasted off. And the monsters celebrate. And next, part 2 starts off. And the monsters are on a rampage. They are going throughout the city. And there's no word from the Powerpuff Girls. They don't know what's happened to them. And they are partying. And celebrating about defeat of the Powerpuff Girls. Then, Mojo, who thought he was the leader, apparently, they are going to have some, as villains do, infighting. And this is where the Powerpuff Girls ended up. They're on the moon. And they have a discussion with each other about what went wrong, and they reconcile. They know they have to save the Earth, put aside any problems they think they may have had, and they head back to Earth. And they kind of heat up in re-entry, but they're okay. They're the Powerpuff Girls. So now, the tables turn. They are back and ready to take them on. course, more infighting begins because bad guys all want to be the leader. So, goes where now they can't cooperate properly with all their infighting. So this is gonna, this is gonna lead to their downfall. And it does. As they fight amongst each other instead of the Powerpuff Girls. So there it goes along, keep fighting. But they were silly, and they told the Powerpuff Girls, "Go ahead, use your strongest attacks on us." And Mojo's like, "What? Oh, I'll take it. I take that back." But nope. Strongest attacks and defeat the monsters, and they get sent to the moon instead. So they are gonna just argue on the moon until they come back. And that's the show. I think they did a very good job. They bring all the characters into their anime style. It's a fun show. If you like the Powerpuff Girls, I think you'll love them even more anime style. Their creation by Professor Utonium is a little different, but I think it's good the way they do it. Well, you'll have a fun time to watch this. And that is it for the Powerpuff Girls Zeddo. So, moving along to my second recommendation of underappreciated anime. Now, I don't know how many of you are train fans. Does anybody like trains? Because I like trains. This next one is called The Real Villain of Powerpuff Girls is OSHA. The proper laboratory safety would have led to the end of Hey, Godzillionaire, good to see you. Yeah, it's that's true. I could see that. You got to follow your laboratory procedures, otherwise, things like that are going to happen. You're going to make supervillains. You like 3-9, Ronnie G? I knew it. You once watched Densha Otoko? Oh, nice. This one, though, I just got to hit the right button here. There we go. Rail Wars. If you have not seen Rail Wars, if you like trains, this is the one to watch. When I watched this show, it was very enjoyable. And yes, it has waifus, Jake D. Before you even have to ask. It's got waifus. And I'll give you a little synopsis, a little rundown on it. The Dream Railway Paradise entertainment story is set in a parallel world where Japan did not privatize its national railways. Naohito Takayama is an ordinary high school boy who dreams of a comfortable future working for the top-rated Japanese national railways. He is assigned as a trainee to the railway's security force, full of odd characters such as Sakurai, a troublemaker who hates men. On top of that, an extremist group called RJ plots to privatize the Japanese national railways. Sold. Yeah, there you go, Jake D. I knew I could sell you on that. And Densha Otoko equals Train Man. It's a love story in which the guy cries way too often. Well, this is not that. I'll tell you right now. This is not Buddy crying This is, like it said here in the synopsis, a fictional world where Japan did not privatize the railways and people want a good job working for the National Railway. This show is basically like Galaxy Railways, which focuses on the Space Defense Force. But it's not out in space. This is, they're just working at the they're as the security force at the railway. So they help out people. They help passengers and such that need help on the railways. Troublemaker hates men, so just a modern American feminist. She thinks she hates men. She's what we call tsundere, which is like angry on the outside, but very soft on the inside. Yeah, but train cops. That's what it is. Yeah, okay, you could say that. Train cops. It was good. It's only 12 episodes, so you don't have much to watch if you're going to get into it. I like it. They got very good detail on the trains, and when this guy, our main character, he knows a lot about the trains. So when he'll tell you exposition about certain trains, real life trains in Japan. So you can learn as you're watching. And if this matters to you, there is fan service, which is just the icing on top, I believe. It's what helps the show. So let's get into it and go through the first episode, just like I did for Powerpuff Girls. This. Can't run like that. So it starts off. Our main character, our protagonist, on a train where he's going to. Okay, they give you the backstory of how in this world the railway is government run. It's not privatized. It goes all over Japan. And he arrives at a station. This little kid loses a balloon, and he's looking at it to get up there, but along comes one of our other characters who leaps up and over him and grabs the balloon for the little kid. And all of our characters are meeting up right at the very beginning. They're going into the same classroom that he is, and then we start out with our opening theme song as it goes through the opening. As you can see, lots of trains. And there's our characters, ready to go. Episode 1, welcome to K4. And he finds out they're in the same class to learn how to be with the security force. And they're going to learn how to be good officers. Obviously explaining to them how they should be, how they should act, what they need to do. As you can see, there are angry girl there, talking about people getting shot. Everybody's like, oh. And they have to put her in her place, like, no, it's not legal to do that, so. You're in love, Jake D? Class is great. 10 out of 10 for the instructor. Yeah, I'm straight. So she runs him down all the time. Once again, he's showing his knowledge of trains. You can see by this. A little bit of running, a little bit of whoop-bye. But yes, everyone is training hard. Of course, she does the one hand. Everybody has to hold it with two, and she's just like, toon, toon, toon. Yeah, so the training is going along, and I'm wondering if they're going to get graduated now. Oh, it's their final exam? They have to train in shoveling coal. Won't pass until they achieve a speed of over 100 kilometers an hour. That's 60 miles an hour for you Americans. Would stay after class anyway, any day. You need to be in detention. The love track. So they're as a group, they have to do it properly, because there's a proper way to stoke a boiler. And there they go. So we'll have to see. Don't know if they can get up to that speed. Okay, so they figured it out. Put the coal in a specific spot. I mean, who knew running a train would be that difficult, but apparently it is. And they're the only ones to reach 100 kilometers an hour. Good for them. So they're gonna do what's like a co-op program. They're gonna do some on-the-job training while they're still in school. Railroad public security. There you go. And everyone's all dressed up. This guy's funny. He eats a lot, and he's like dressing like he's going into a war zone. They are warned, don't do anything unnecessary. But where's the fun in that? And they do take time to admire the trains, of course, because our main character really likes trains. Apparently they're looking for a dog. Uh-oh. Hansu. There's your fan service I was telling you about. You don't speak metrics, liters, kilograms, kilometers? What is this place? The USSR? Considering the rest of the world uses the metric system, Jake D. It must be pretty hard to run them. Norfolk Southern can't seem to keep theirs on the track. Yee! I know, that's scary too. Derailments are very scary. So everyone has their expertise, it looks like, in knowing things, and they share it. Oh, purse snatchers. Oh, it's her chance to... Sakurai's chance to to shine. So we'll see if they can catch the purse snatchers. But apparently they didn't make it in time. Oh, but they're going to use their brains and figure out that they can catch up to that train. Ah, bullet train. Runs at 200 kilometers an hour, checking the overhead wires and rails for problems. This is it. And they've caught them. I don't think it's going to be this easy, though. But I guess they took them down. And they get in trouble for it, of course. There we go. That is the end of the first episode. Looks like a good start. Everyone's going to try their best. So, get a chance. Rail Wars. It's got girls with guns and trains. This is a winner for me. I really liked watching it. It was so much fun. Well, the rest of the world is stooge. Nothing wrong with that. Purse snatchers, deploy the snipers. If only, eh, Godzillionaire? Yeah, this one's going to the top of the watch list. Nice, Jake D. Good for you. Government workers using their brains? Fascinating. Yeah. Who would have thought? But, you know, when you've got the knowledge of schedules of trains and such, you got to put it to good use. Yes, Rail Wars. Um, 10 out of 10, Jake D? Right on. So that's the two underappreciated animes I think people should check out. Powerpuff Girls Z, which is just like you'd think just like you'd think of the show in North America. It's fun, it's silly, it's got some charm to it, it's got a bit of heart. You know, you're in for a good time, and you get to see what the villains and other characters would look like in an anime style. And there's Rail Wars, which is trains and waifus and just having a good time watching that and learning about trains. It's a fun one, and just seeing all the situations that they end up in. So, what am I watching this season? I will show you. Get a better zoom in on this. Okay. This season, I'm watching Kizuna no Alel, which is a show about VTubers, believe it or not. And we'll show you here. The synopsis: in the virtual world, you can be anyone, and for Miracle, that's our main character's name, her name's Miracle, her dream is to be a famous virtual artist. She attends Aiden Academy, where she learns new talents to prepare her for her big debut. Although she's a bit of a klutz, she's determined to follow in the footsteps of her idol, the legendary VTuber Kizuna Ai. With dedication and the help of her friends, her dream just might come true. So that is one of the shows I'm watching, and I like it. It combines some CGI with hand-drawn animation. That reminds you need to figure out how Mags and Tickletrunk make their VTuber personas. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. That would be, it's got to be some software or something. And artists helping them out with that. The next up for this season is something called The Marginal Service. When I watched this show, I'm only on episode 2 because that's how many they have out, but I really immediately thought Men in Black. If you've ever seen Men in Black, this kind of reminds me of this. The synopsis: after being fired from his detective job, Brian receives a strange letter. It reads, he heads to the address written on the envelope and finds himself among the Marginal Service. This motley crew of fearless men and a woman and a squirrel are tasked with hunting down aliens, and Brian just became their newest member. So that is enjoyable so far. Obviously, you have your main character who is angry at everybody. He's gotta calm down a bit and listen. So, you think it's PNG based for the VTube personas? Okay. And finally, the third one I'm watching is Yuri Is My Job. This one, worried about her reputation, Hime covers shifts for a cafe manager she accidentally injures to maintain her picture-perfect princess image. And she's all about that. As I've watched this, she describes it as a facade that she keeps up just to land herself a billionaire husband. So, that's what she calls it. But this cafe has a peculiar theme: private school. She put her on her best barista schoolgirl act. She'll be trained by the most graceful girl there, Mitsuki. Under her guidance, Hime's feelings start to brew, but there's just one problem. Mitsuki can't stand her. So yes, as I've seen so much, or I've seen it so far, I'm only on the 3rd episode, and there's a lot of drama. It's, I don't know if you'd call it slice of life. Could be. She's working in a cafe because she feels she owes it to the owner that she injured when she ran into her. So she's going to do that, and she wants everyone to like her, so she puts up this facade. But there's one person who doesn't like her, even with her, using her facade at full power. She can't make it so that she is liked by her. So we have to see how this plays out, whether they come to an understanding or whether she realizes she doesn't have to put up a facade anymore. We'll see if she actually learns her lesson. So I'm quite interested to see where this goes, because as they're in that cafe and it's just acting. They act like they're in a private school. You know, they have put on little sideshows, so that the patrons really enjoy it. So I'm interested to see where this is going to go. And that's it for the shows I'm watching from this season. And I also am catching up on my One Piece, as I've got a couple of cases full of DVDs of these guys. So I'm on episode 653 of One Piece. We're going to watch more today. I believe we're going to finish up the rest of the disc. Second disc, anyway. I think there's 4 per DVD collection. Or sorry, it's Blu-ray collection, but it's good. We're trudging through it, and it's good. He's in Dressrosa right now. If you know anything about that arc, it's where he fights Doflamingo. So I'm really glad that we're able to start or getting into that. Oh, and one other thing for those that haven't heard, send your best wishes to the Angry Canadian as he is currently in the hospital. We wish him all a speedy recovery, and hopefully he gets back into it soon. I think he's going to be away from streaming for a little while, but I'm hoping he gets back in the game. And yes, Jake D, Rebecca. We're just getting into her battle in Block D to see who moves on to the final. So, good old Rebecca, the gladiator of choice. Also today, my wife and I have procured some tickets to see the Mario movie in IMAX, no less. We're hoping that because it's in IMAX, parents aren't going to pay the extra money to take their kids to it, and hopefully we can have a good experience without too much interruptions from little kids. You're Rebecca X Colby? Wow, really? Colby of all people. I never considered that. DJ Ronnie, you saw it in 4DX. Spoiler review to be uploaded soon. Okay, we'll watch for that. Yeah, I can't wait to see it in IMAX. We're going to go see it at 1:30 my time. So, what is it now? 10 o'clock? 11, 12, 1. So in 3 hours, be sitting down and enjoying the Mario movie. You just finished editing, exported it last night. Ah, okay. I believe that's one of my most painful things is to edit videos. Editing video takes a lot. IMAX are way too small. You mean as far as hard drive size? I could see that. I use my MSI laptop for all my editing needs, and for streaming, it's good. It's got a good, powerful enough CPU and good enough graphics card, a 2060, I think. And yeah, I just have a 4 terabyte external drive for saving all my stuff too. You're picturing an old iMac G3 when you say IMAX? Yes, it's IMAX with an X, not iMac with a C, which I have as well. I have a 2007 iMac that I use as my YouTube watching machine. That's pretty much all I use it for, watching YouTube. You got a 2060 as well? Hey, right on. Yeah, it does good. It's good enough. Good enough for a laptop anyway. You don't need anything too crazy. I mean, eventually I'd probably get into a desktop where you want the high power and stuff like that. But I don't need that just yet. What I do want is another monitor. I'd like to have a nice triple monitor set up. That would be nice. But I'll settle for double right now. Well, I hope everyone had a good time today. I know I did. Hope I was able to expose you to some animes that don't get enough attention. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. If you haven't heard of them, I'm glad I could open your eyes up to them. And if you have heard of them, give them a try. It doesn't have to be all of them. Watch 1 or 2 episodes just to see if you get a feel for it. That's what I do. You know, 1 episode, 2 episodes, 3. It's that's usually how you do it to gauge whether you're going to keep watching or not. But yes, Powerpuff Girls Z and Rail Wars. Yes, the train show is Rail Wars. It's a good one. You like trains? Give it a watch. You like the Powerpuff Girls? Give Powerpuff Girls Z a watch. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna wrap her up. It's been a good stream. I'm happy that so many people came along. You guys make streaming really fun. Being in the chat there, let me know what's going on. So yeah, thanks everybody. People like Whoopa Troopa and Jake D and DJ Ronnie G and Punk Waddle. It's always good to see you. And Godzillionaire. And anyone else who was around. You may have been lurking. Maybe you were here on the YouTube side or the Twitch side. I know I have at least one person that watches on the Twitch side, and I appreciate you. And, on the Rumble side, I'm trying to cover all the bases now for streaming. The ones that are easy anyway. Rumble isn't bad. You just needed 5 subscribers. Twitch. I don't expect to get a lot of Twitch users because I don't do hot tub streams and my name's not Amaranth. And yeah, YouTube. What can I say? YouTube's the main. It's the main one. It's the biggest and main one right now. So that will be what I use. So yeah, I appreciate you all. Please slap that like button or give me a follow or whatever it happens to be on whichever platform you're watching me on right now. Spread the word. Tell your friends about me. And there's other good content creators too, people I've personally watched and talked to, like Pacific 414 and Blaine's Escape Corner, Ronan66, DJ Ronnie G. There's Brandon the Anime Guy and the Nerdtorial Lifeform. There's Angry Canadian and Whoopa, who appears on Dadman Walking, and Punk Waddle at Floral from Under a Rock. But Punk Waddle also has his own channel, so check that out too if you can. I've got Discord. It's called The Shop. You can join me there and see what I'm writing about and anything like that. I'm on Twitter, mostly to advertise my channel. I don't like to get too much involved in the Twitter wars out there. I don't need that. Coming up, Tuesday, Trades Talk Tuesday, I will have an instrumentation technician, someone I've worked with before, and he will explain his journey in the trades and how he got into being an instrumentation technician. This ought to be pretty good for those of you that are interested in that trade. You can hear all about it. After that is Saturday, the game stream. I am hoping to finish the Minish. That's what I'm going to do on Saturday coming up. It's getting close now, everybody. Gotta finish that game off. After that, rolling right around again to Sunday. More anime chat. It's going to be the 5th Sunday of the month, which is quite unusual, but it happens this time around in April. So a 5th show of Pop's Choice. Which shows will I bring up next? Underappreciated anime shows. What am I going to come up with next time? You got to tune in to find out. What is it? See you later. Yep. DJ Ronnie G. McKinney is the cool dude. He responds to chats like I do. Yeah. Well, I got to talk to you guys. That's the thing. Interaction. It's a big thing. You're going to take the time to type something out. I'm going to take the time to answer it. Anyone who does that is already cool in your book? Awesome. Whoop even watches your streams when he sees them. Yeah. And you love Tuesdays because Tuesday's your Friday, and your trade talk is becoming an integral part of your Tuesday. Oh, nice to know. Right on. That's what I like to hear. You know, if people are kicking around on a Tuesday and they're like, gee, what should we watch? Oh, maybe tune into Trades Talk. See what Pop has to say. See if he's got a guest on. And, you know, if you're interested in the trades or know people that are, or maybe they are in the trades, I'd like to speak to them as well. It starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 6 o'clock Pacific and 9 o'clock Eastern. I think that's right. Yeah, 6, 7. Yeah. 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So depending on where you are in your country of choice, that's when it's going to be. So, once more, I appreciate everyone showing up. I'm very grateful. You have to be grateful in this life because otherwise you're going to be miserable. Okay, 9 p.m. Eastern is when you're nearly home. There you go. Yep. And it works for me because it's after my dinner. I have enough time to get things prepped and ready to go. So yeah. Once again, thank you, everyone. And until Tuesday, I've been Pop Culture Mechanic, and I am signing off.